I just kind of stay in one spot. And then when I get ready when it's almost time for me to go out, then I just go up to the gorilla position and I sit in gorilla and I just wait until time for me to walk out. But I do that so I can observe, you know what I mean? I like to watch and see how things are going, and that's why I say the morale is up. Had a chance to talk with Paul Heyman. He's in good spirits, man. So everybody, I think, is really happy there.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to an all-new episode of the Wrestling Time Machine by Sportskeeda. I'm your host, Mac Davis, along with my WWE Hall of Famer co-host, Mr. Teddy Long, and legendary pro wrestling journalist, Mr. Bill Apter. Hey, guys, how y'all doing?
Mind, like Lou Albano always said.
Always. Teddy, how you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, and I just want to congratulate you on getting through that opening segment right there without screwing it up. So very good for you today. Thank you.
Amazing.
It's always a smart ass in the bunch.
Well, that's what I do.
Yes,
better than being a stupid ass.
Yes, it is. Guys, since we've last talked, Teddy, you've had quite a bit of traveling. As a matter of fact, you didn't tell, well, we knew this going off air last week. We just didn't make it public, but we knew that you're going to be busy going to the draft on Friday night for Friday Night SmackDown, and then again on Monday for Monday Night Raw. So we kind of want to get your experience from being there in the nights of the two drafts. How did it go? Any surprises for you?
Well, not any surprises. I think, the morale certainly was up backstage. Everybody was in good mood. Everybody was enjoying themselves, and everybody wanted to work. There's some, I can tell there are a few changes that have taken place, and I think they're for the good. Like I said, man, everybody was just great. They wanted to work. It wasn't no problems. You know what I mean? There was no disagreements nowhere. Not that I know of, but I just had a great time, and I just enjoyed talking to, I had to see my baby mama, Nia Jax, had a chance to talk to her. And Jade Cardell had a chance to get with Jade, and like Mac knows, I've known Jade before she ever got started. She was a part of that face-to-face wrestling school that I was a part of, so we've known Jade a long time. So to be able, I had a chance to sit down, me and Booker T had a great conversation. And back with my old buddy JBL, and this time we had Ron with us at Monday Night Raw, so we had a blast backstage, man. We was telling some old stories and stuff, man. And
what kind of stuff did y'all talk about, Teddy? I mean, give us an idea of something that you talked about.
Well, we just talking about
I just want to drop in for a second and say, because I said this before we went on the air, that the people that got the biggest reactions completely on both nights were the Dudleys and Teddy Long. Biggest reactions of anybody.
And that's no surprise to me. I'm going to tell you what I did since you brought that up, Bill. Teddy knows that I point out to him that every time he shows up on those shows, he gets one hell of a pop every single time. So I sat there the other night. My wife is asleep. Okay, now this is about, can't remember what time of the night it was, but it was late. Teddy, I don't know what I was going to say. That is sad.
What are you telling me that you have built us up for this conversation? I mean, took us as high as you could get us, and now he says he forgot what he has to say.
Teddy, get the tables.
Wow.
What were we talking about? I mean,
all right,
we're talking about me.
So you have some backstage stories you could tell us.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
From the
I got it now. So my wife, she's in sleep. Okay, she's snoozing away. I'm trying not to wake her up. I don't want to wake her up, but I want to hear the pop. I want to hear Teddy's pop when he comes out. I crank up the stereo in my back room, thinking it's not too loud. Teddy comes out, he gets the pop. I'm like, yeah, that's what I was hoping for. My wife walks to the door. Can you turn that down? So you interrupted her sleep, Teddy.
No, you interrupted her sleep.
But it did exactly what I knew it would do. People love you, Teddy, and I agree, Bill. That is something that is so great to see every time you show up on TV.
Teddy, what's your best backstage story from the draft?
don't think that I didn't see any backstage story. I
Well,
know.
wait, that didn't sound right.
Well, I'm trying to think, man. Cause here's the deal, man. When I got there, I just kind of went back and just sat in one spot and kind of just stayed there and sit down. I had a chance to talk with R-Truth, me and him talked a little bit. Had a great conversation with Booker T, like I told you. So I just kind of stay in one spot. And then when I get ready when it's almost time for me to go out, then I just go up to the gorilla position and I sit in gorilla and I just wait until time for me to walk out. But I do that so I can observe, you know what I mean? I like to watch and you know, and see how things are going, you know, and that's why I say the morale is up. Had a chance to talk with Paul Heyman. He's in good spirits, man. So everybody, I think, is really happy there.
You know, one of the things that I do know about your trip, Teddy, is that you did have some issues with your travel. You want to talk about this airline flight you had to take? This is a story that.
Well, yeah, man. As we're doing this today, I haven't had in the last 5 days. I've had about 2, maybe 10 hours worth of sleep. Okay.
The wrestling business.
Well, it's the wrestling business. So you know, I ain't dealt with it in a while, but I understand when it come, I can tackle it. We took the storms have been pretty bad too out there, man. So which is a real bad weekend. So what happened is we flew from Pittsburgh up into Detroit, Michigan. So then I had a flight from Detroit going into Kansas City for the Monday Night Raw. So we get on this flight, we leave. We're about 30 minutes into it, man. Now the turbulence is getting real bad. I mean, real bad, scary stuff. So next thing I know, the pilot says us we got to turn around and we got to go back. Well, I'm thinking maybe the weather must be so bad so they can't get in it. They're not taking any chances to turn around going back to avoid the weather. So when we turn around and go back, then we land, then we look up, we see in the back of the plane these oxygen masks that have just fell out of the compartments in midair, okay?
Oh, God.
Also, there was another, like a window back there when I was on the plane with Medusa. And she was sitting back there by this window, and this window, Mac, I sent you the pictures of it. This window had a big crack in it. Whoa. Okay, so now we land. Okay, first thing, then I hear another story that they say that one of the flight attendants passed out. Well, if the flight attendant passed out, as soon as we land, I think the first people I would see would be EMS. Yes. Okay, never saw them. Only people I saw jumped on that plane was 3 maintenance guys, went straight to the back to fix those oxygen masks. That's the only people that I saw. Like I said, I never saw a flight attendant pass out. Well, anyway, now after we get off this flight here, now we got to go into a hotel. They're paying for it, but everybody got to stand in line and wait till you get your information. So to make a long story short, I got in this hotel around 2 o'clock, okay? I can't take a bath because I don't have no clothes. They got my bag, okay? So now 2 o'clock I get in, I lay down about 3, I'm back up at 5 because there's a 7 o'clock flight I have to get the next morning. Yep. So I get there Monday morning, get back, go get on this 7 o'clock flight and look on the plane. And brother, it's the same exact plane that we were on.
Man.
Now, Bill, let me ask you, would you get on that plane after all of that happened the day before? Can you believe they're actually going to try to walk you right back to that same plane?
I am dumb enough to do that, yeah.
Yeah, I saw it was the same plane, but what am I going to do?
I've done it. You know what? I figure it's better that they fixed it and serviced it. So, Teddy, what I wanted to ask you, though, you mentioned that backstage you talked to Paul Heyman. What have you seen the maturity set in on him? Because the last few times I've seen him, he's more and more mature. You know, I knew him when he was a punk kid as a photographer. But
he's really matured a lot. I mean, his job I see is, helping the guys out as much as he can. He's got a spot right there in Gorilla. And so a lot of the guys go over and talk to him before they go out for their matches and stuff. So I see Paul, very mature, man. Yeah, he's doing good.
Yeah. Teddy, who are some of the people in the back that the boys are going to? Is there a group of legends or anybody back there that the guys seem to trust?
No, it don't work like that no more.
No more at all, huh?
No.
Really?
Let me ask you another question. One thing that I've noticed is that ratings for both, for all companies right now are down a little bit from where they were going into WrestleMania. With WWE, as high as they got their numbers, with The Rock being there, their numbers are going to go down. But is there something they can do to keep those numbers up, Bill?
Yeah, well, I mean, storylines, of course, but remember, they're also going opposite a lot of the sports playoff games that are coming up.
Teddy, when Vince was there, did Vince put up with the football, comments that, well, football affected our ratings? Did he buy that, or did he just think that wasn't real competition?
Well, this is basketball we're talking about, I think.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
Yeah, he didn't think that was no real competition.
Yeah, some people I know that, have mentioned that they never considered football as like, that's not an excuse for our ratings to go down. They had a football game. That's not an excuse.
Well, maybe they just had, there are some people, no matter what you're watching, unless it's like a weekly serial type of show, that after the whole build up to WrestleMania, it might have just been, it's enough already just for another week or two, and then we'll go back to watching it. Could have been oversaturation with everything that was going on.
Eddie, what was the audience response? It seemed like the Friday night show to me, because you were there for both nights, the fans on Friday night seemed more jacked than they did on Monday. Was it that way?
Well, no, I didn't look at it that way. They seemed just as hyped for Monday's show as it was for Friday's show, man.
So it could have been a miking problem then on Monday night, because the show on Monday night didn't have, the fans just seemed, did you notice that, Bill?
Yeah, I noticed a lot of them sat there like this.
Yeah.
They were just, I don't know what, somebody said to me the only thing they were waiting for is Dorothy, because it was in Kansas City, Wizard of Oz there. But I did notice that. I noticed a few things that were kind of a little off, and mainly the finish of the main event. I'm having some dental issues.
That's okay. I didn't notice.
The finish of the main event in that 6-man tag, I think, to pump up for backlash, that depending upon when you're watching this, is that Jey Uso should have pinned Damian Priest in that 6-man tag team match. I think that's where they should have gone with that, but they didn't. That was my opinion. I think that surprised a lot of people on that particular show.
Anything, you said there were a couple of things. Anything else?
The other thing is, and something to work on, and this is minimal, the guy to me who's going to be champion down the line is Braun Breaker. No, Teddy, did you talk with him at all?
I didn't get a chance to talk to him at all. I saw him, but they had him real busy.
Yeah, and he's good. To me, I think what's going to happen down the pike, he's going to be the champion. I really do. I think he's got it all. I think when they did the hallway interview with him last night, his voice was very mild. And for a guy that looks like that, I was waiting for, well, let me tell you something, brother. One of those type of voices. So, yeah, that's...
And I've heard him give interviews before or do things in the ring where he had that attitude.
He didn't have that.
He sounded like Scott.
Yeah.
Well, maybe somebody talked to him and kind of smartened him up on, hey, here's how you need to present yourself.
Yep.
It's a time to roar, and it's a time to bring it down.
Oh, I like that. That's an excellent lesson. Really is. Yeah. But I Teddy, do you see from, he's the son of Rick Steiner. Do you see from the look of him and everything, what I see, that this is a guy that they can take all the way to the top?
Yes, I do. Exactly.
I like his speed. I mean, his speed in the ring, I don't know how to explain it. When he hits those ropes, he comes off those ropes twice as fast as anybody else I've ever seen. It's just, and when he hits that spear coming off those ropes, oh my God.
He's a combination of Bill Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. If Lesnar and Bill Goldberg,
Scott and Rick in him too, though. I mean, those Steiner boys are sitting all inside.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, if Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg got married and had a kid, that would be him.
Okay, Bill said that, not me. Not.
You can quote me on that.